Sound check, guys. Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, I can hear myself. Hey, Constant. Yeah. Okay. Good. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Just going to put a little disclaimer for you. Going to put a little disclaimer here for you guys to take a look at while we get started. Tell me, quick show of hands, who here is new to Forex trading? The reason why I'm asking, I've just got a few introductory slides to Forex trading, but if there's no one who's really new, Rio, you're new, I thought we could just skip a few slides and move on. But if we've got a few new people, we'll go through some slides very, very quickly, and then we'll move on to the real stuff. Hello, Boyke. Well, welcome. Haven't spoken to you for years. Well, and you'll soon find out. Here is a slide about me. I'm a trader. I'm a full-time Forex trader. Can you guys hear me okay now? Okay, John, I'm not going to get into questions like that right now, but if we have time at the end, I'm going to ask. Okay. So primarily Forex trader, full-time Forex, professional Forex trader. I'm also an educator, Forex educator. Okay. And a mentor as well. I've mentored hundreds of people in trading over the years and helping them achieve their goals as Forex traders. Prior to Forex, I was actually into a little bit of stocks and options, just privately, but got quite a bit of experience doing some stocks and options and had some reasonable experience. But it was Forex trading that really hooked me. Just more technical, and I'm more of a technical person than anything else. And so that's where I've decided to be situated trading Forex. Before Forex, my background was in IT business systems. Okay, so computers, big business systems, databases, all that sort of stuff. Okay, now I've got a bit of a funny accent. I was raised in Auckland, New Zealand. However, I live in Santa Monica in California. So I'm in Southern California, and that's of course the west coast of the United States of America. So gonna raise. Okay. This is what to expect in the webinar today. Going to cover off, as I just mentioned, some basics of Forex trading. And then I was going to cover the new generation FX trading strategy, how we like to trade at new generation FX. And then I was going to give a demonstration of how that works, okay, in a couple of different ways, if you like. And so if you're just here to learn something about Forex trading, you get educated in something, you're going to learn a little something in there. Then give a demonstration of our system, and then we'll talk at the end about receiving how you can be part of what we're doing and receiving some rebates and other goodies through our partners for this webinar. That's Forest Park FX. Okay. So very quickly, let's go through some basics of Forex if you're new to Forex trading. Okay. I'm hoping there are a few people here who are more new to Forex, who you may have been looking at other things, your futures, you might be a bond trader or looking at your options. Forex trading is a very technical way to trade. So if you're more of a technical person versus a fundamental, it might be something that's for yourself. Okay, so you'll always hear a lot of different names. Forex markets, currency trading markets, or just FX. They're all basically the same thing, trading foreign currencies or Forex. Okay, and basically it is what it is. Says it's the buying and selling or exchange of currencies. Buy some US dollars, buy some pounds. Probably nearly every single one of you in the room have done, even if you don't call yourself a Forex trader, you've done something related to foreign currency trading when you take that vacation from New York to London, or London to Italy or something. You're exchanging US dollars for pounds or pounds for Euro dollars, those sorts of things. Okay, it is by far the most liquid market in the world. It leaves everything else for dead in terms of how much money passes through the foreign currency market every day, and there's a lot of good reasons for that. But we're talking trillions of dollars. Okay, trillions of dollars on a daily basis. There's no central location for Forex. It's just a global network of dealers and brokers and that sort of thing. So there's no New York Stock Exchange for it, if you like. Okay, it's just a whole network around the world of all these brokers and dealers, and that's how it works. Businesses use Forex. If you're a business in the United States, manufacturing trucks, but your engines come from Europe, you're going to purchase those in the currency of the country they're made. So if you're making Mack trucks in the United States, but the engines are made in Germany, you're going to have to pay for those in euros. So that's a currency transaction done at the business level. And companies, big companies are moving all this money around the world all the time. Could be Apple making their mobile phones in other countries. It could be Boeing making all their components all around the world. Anything that comes into the United States has to be paid for in the currency it is made in. Okay. Speculators, that's people like myself and many of you. Well, we use the Forex markets to buy and sell foreign currencies by looking at fundamentals and technicals and working out whether there is a profit to be made by buying a particular currency or selling a particular currency. And it's very attractive to us because of the leverage. Leverage means you don't actually need that much money to actually trade Forex, and if you sort of know what you're doing, you're going to you don't need much money, and you can actually profit quite easily out of it. Okay, if you're careful. Now in the United States, the leverage 50 to 1 for US traders, 100 to 1 for most other countries. Okay, and unlike stocks, currency's value is relative to another currency. A stock in the stock market is a value in itself, but when you're looking at currencies, the value of the currency is always the US dollar versus the euro, or the Aussie dollar versus the US dollar, that sort of thing, and that's the value it's done. Okay, and just to finish up here, the factors contributing to the exchange rates, and this is one of the other things I like about it, you don't have to be focusing on all sorts of companies, specific stuff in industries or within a company or anything like that, because there's thousands of companies if you're going to be a stock trader. But if you could follow countries' monetary policy, global political stability, and basically interest rates, you've pretty much covered the fundamental side of trading Forex as well, if you have a good understanding. Now, these are the 8 economies where you should be focusing to trade. Okay? All pretty much westernized countries. If you're looking at currencies outside of this list, you're going to have a bit more of an interesting time, because the most liquidity by far is in these countries. So if you're looking at your Mexican pesos and your Turkish liras and the like, it's going to be a little bit of a maybe a little bit of a struggle in terms of trading. Definitely, if you're looking to trade Forex, the States, Euro, Japan, UK, Switzerland, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand are definitely the places you want to watch. And if you can actually have a very successful time trading Forex, just focusing on those countries and leaving your Brazils and your Indonesias and your Vietnams and everything well out of it. Okay? Any questions so far? Good? We're all good? Excellent. So, New Generation FX came out just to address some of these challenges that Forex trading can present. Sometimes, well, I found a lot of the things that Forex presented when I started trading were attractive, but I've sort of retracted a little bit to say maybe not so attractive. For example, having markets 24 hours a day open, that's one of the advantages of Forex trading. It sounds great. You can live in any corner of the world and you can sit in front of charts and trade when you're home from work and in your night or before going to work, or even if you're working from home. But of course, that means that when you get addicted to trading, addicted to Forex, which is going to happen if you're a Forex trader, you sort of find yourself up for nearly 24 hours a day. And that poses some problems, okay? Also with Forex trading, noticed way too many missed opportunities. When I used to educate people, I'd come to a Friday and I'd be saying to them, remember that pullback we said we'll get short from there and off it goes? Yeah, I got there in that session that I wasn't sitting in front of the computer trading, and look at it now, 500 pips later. Man, we saw that. Why can't I have captured that trade? Also, for many of us, including myself, I live in probably the worst trading zone in the world. United States West Coast is a particularly poor trading zone in terms of when most Forex traders are trading. Most Forex traders, they're in that London, just before London, through London, New York. That's it. I'm sort of, I get up, get New York if I'm very, very early, and then New York's done before you know it, and then there's a big gap of not much going on, and then Asia kicks off, and Asia's usually a quieter market, and then, by the time I'm going to bed, things are starting to heat up. So I live in the worst trading zone in the world. So that was another issue. Spending way too much time in front of the computer. Many of you here must be spending, like me, 16 plus hours a day, or used to. I used to, not anymore. 16 plus hours a day in front of a computer. Yeah, one of the challenges I used to find was I'd be sitting in front of the computer, and of course, because I'm sitting there with not much to do except look at charts, I would start making trades that I necessarily shouldn't be. And then basically, you might take a few losses, and then when things do line up, you basically talk yourself out of taking the trades that you were meant to be taking because you've already taken some losses. So another idea about New Generation FX, the foundations, is to control emotions and trading rules, okay? So our trading system and New Generation FX is to address all those inefficiencies, all those challenges of trading Forex. Although I love Forex trading, I knew from early on, only after a few years, that I was not going to be able to continue this long term with the effort that was required to make it successful. There's just way too much time in front of charts waiting, okay? And just too many crazy hours and not enough sleep. And I'm a family guy like a lot of other people, and too many other commitments. So had to make some changes, okay? So designed to address the inefficiencies of Forex. Okay, it's defined on a trading strategy, which is basically my trading strategy that has a lot of ideas that I've been using for a long, long time. And it's based on trader analysis and trade planning, but it's combined with a little bit of automation. So it's like a semi-automated trading system. And the automation is what's designed to do all the heavy work, do all the things that I hated with Forex and things I was just talking about, like controlling emotions and rules. And the big thing is waiting. Okay, and a piece of software can sit there and scan all the pairs you have and all the trade plans you've set all simultaneously while you're sleeping or doing other things, and you don't have to spend hours there waiting to manually trade in front of a computer. Something is there to take control for you and trade on your behalf. Okay, so it's a sort of a balance, a combination. I should mention that when New Generation FX started, we were looking at full-time, fully automated trading robots, I should say. And we actually had reasonable success developing those, based on how I like to trade. But we found that by having control still over the analysis and trade planning, sort of kept things a bit more in check, kept track record sort of longer term okay. And so, for now, just feel a little more comfortable sort of being in control of the analysis and planning, but then get some software to do the heavy work while we don't have to. Okay. Now, the fundamental side of it is quite simple. I'm not a strict at all a fundamentalist, and so we've put in steps to stay away from fundamental news releases. Things like your NFP, your FOMCs, interest rate decisions, the breaking news. We have things in our software that will not get us in a trade when these things break due to big spreads and things like that, and I can show you how that works. I do, however, on the fundamental side, keep an eye on central bank policies for long-term market view. And of course, anyone who's trading Forex should be looking at the sort of geopolitical impacts of the world and things that are happening in general global economies, because that's going to help you establish biases and help you manage your trade. Your things like your Freddie Macs, Fannie Mae's, Greece crisis, and all that. While you might consider yourself a technical trader, you should always be aware of those sorts of things that are happening in the market. You'll see them reflected in your charts, of course, but you should know what they are because that can help you decide, how long you might hold on to a trade or not to trade, those sorts of things. So very basic fundamental. I'm not a fundamental, one of those fundy sort of people that's looking at every little news release around the world with, ear on the speaker to hear what the retail sales figure was and try and scalp myself a few pips or anything like that. That's just noise to me. That's not a way of trading. So the big picture, yes. What's happening with interest rates and all that, yes. I don't even trade NFP. I haven't been in front of a computer when NFP's been on for like 2.5 years. Okay, so staying well away from those sorts of things. I've found them overall in the long run, while they get a lot of following, quite a disturbance. Okay. So trading strategy is pretty much swing and position-based trading. There's a little bit of spot trading in there too. You guys are getting good timing. I've actually spent quite a bit of time over the last few weeks refining trading strategy and looking to make some changes. So I'll explain, when I give a demonstration here shortly, it's pretty much the latest and greatest of how we like to trade. I'm a big price action and fractals fan. Do we have any price action people here, or anyone who doesn't know about price action? I'm a huge price action person. Basically, anything I use in trading is out of interest. And you'll see on the charts what I'm interested in a minute, because that's what you're going to see. But a lot of I'm not a EMA type person or an oscillator person or anything like that, so none of that sort of stuff is on my charts. Okay. I like some visual support and resistance, some fibs, trade breakouts, some roll reversal, psych levels, and I'm pretty much done. That's all I need is the sort of tools in my toolbox to get the job done. Don't really need anything else at all. Okay. And I think it's worth noting here, use confirmation via price action and fractals for all my entries. Okay, and we'll take a look at a few examples. Okay. Let me just put up, just going to show something in Forex Tester. Okay, if anyone's got any questions, just please let me know. Just to demonstrate how very quickly, I mean, this is, if I wanted to explain how I like to trade or a trading strategy, it'd be a webinar in itself, and maybe I can come back one day and address that. But right now, we'll just cover things off high level, and then we'll give a demonstration using the software on pretty much sort of things I'm talking about here. Okay, so if I just pull up this Aussie daily chart, I'm pretty big on, yeah, I think it's important to have a few visual things. So you might have seen there's a few tops there, and also, you know, I like to use a little bit of Fibonacci. Okay, so when I trade, this is something that, anyway, a lot of this is pure experience and time in front of the charts and working out strategies and things, and nothing can speak for experience, I'm telling you. So the more time you can work through things on the charts over the years, you know, the more experience you're going to get, the more different things you're going to see. So in a nutshell, the way I like to trade is, of course, buying off sort of longer term areas of support and resistance. Okay, so when I look at this chart right now, let's highlight a couple of things here. I obviously see that trend line as resistance. You don't see any charts, Kim? Everyone should see my charts, right? So you might want to quickly log on and log off. Yeah. Okay, so I see that trend line as resistance. I also see this sort of cluster of price action here, the sort of little calm before the next storm. Okay, I see that mixed with the 382 fib of the rise. I see that as an area of support. Okay, so a lot of the way of trading and people should focus, okay, is anticipating in advance where you think support and resistance will be. Now, fundamentals like problems in the Eurozone will always destroy any technical support and resistance you may have, but most of the time, you know, those sort of political events and things aren't actually happening. So, you know, it's always good. The majority of the time, things are going to sort of hold technically, so it's always good, I believe, to anticipate. Okay, so I look at those sorts of things, and I can also think ahead and think that, well, you know, if we ended up breaking down below sort of this zone, and so we sort of got something like this, maybe, who knows, that I could extend this fib, you know, right from down the bottom, my fib, and so 382 fibs and 50% fibs and things of that whole rise, well, those will also become areas of support or areas, you know, where I might want to buy and sell. In this case, buy. Okay, so it's sort of all about anticipating in advance or just knowing what you think would hold. And I also look for multiple areas of confirmation or areas or of multiple areas of support or resistance. Okay, so obviously if we got back up here, I could probably put a fib to the downside, and I'm going to have a 91 psych level in there. Remember, I use psych levels. So there's sort of three things lining up in there that could be telling me that that could hold as resistance. Okay, so I've got a 4-hour chart here as well. Okay, so I like to use a mixture of like daily chart, 4-hour chart. Okay, now I'm just going to move. I'm on Forex Tester here, so I'm just going to move this forward and see what happens, and I'll demonstrate the sort of things that I would like to get into. So price moved off that 382 area. Okay, now I would not just take this trade. Okay, that's sort of staring in a whole week of daily downside. I need to see something on a 4-hour chart basically confirm that there's going to be a long there off that level. Okay, so when I see a 4-hour chart coming down, sort of swings down and then starts swinging up, that's going to get me interested. And when we sort of break out of this sort of dotted line area here, which is like that's the last sort of major swing down that people sold, and that basically got broken by people now buying off that support level. My sort of fractals, my daily chart, my 4-hour chart sort of aligned, and so I'm going to make a trade plan to try and long that. Okay, so I'm going to make a trade plan to try and jump in on that and see if we can get it up as a buy. Okay, so just pure buying at what I think is support with confirmation. Okay, now let's say that this is the area here that I wish to buy. Now, one of the things I'm always going to look at once it breaks is, for my setup, and this would be sort of a spot trade setup for me. I'm going to look at, of course, I'm probably going to have some sort of fib drawn here. Let me actually draw a fib. And I'm going to try and combine a couple of things to help me get in this trade. I've got that roll reversal area that I was mentioning. I like roll reversal areas. I've got a 618 fib. And pretty much close to my 89 psych level in there as well. We're in between 88.90 here, okay, and 89.25. So 89 psych level. So that sort of gives me sort of laser guided zone that once that area broke that I would then buy from. Okay, so that's sort of a basic trade setup that I would look up. So you're looking for a bias, you're looking for a long-term area of support, you're waiting for some confirmation, and off you go. Okay, now I mentioned 15-minute changes of trend, or a change of trend on even a smaller time frame for confirmation. So if I just bring up a 15-minute chart here, okay, let me show you the confirmation that you'd get. See, it's the beauty of Forex Tester. You can go back in time and basically test your strategies on the fly. It's very, very good for demonstrating. So here is where we build our trade plan in advance, anticipating a pullback. Here is our 15-minute chart coming down. 15-minute chart is down, and then suddenly 15-minute chart sort of breaks that high. So, minuscule type stuff compared to the longer-term chart, but it is confirming that people are definitely buying in this area. Okay, so now our software is going to look for something like that, and it's going to go off and do that. Okay, so the idea of how we trade is everything is done in advance. I might make this trade plan 12 hours before it actually happens, or even some cases 24 hours before it happens. I sit in front of my my charts, I see this area breaking through here. I've done all my analysis. I like the 382 on the daily chart. I like the 4-hour change of trend. Now it's just a matter of where am I going to get in, and then after that, it's going to be a matter of where I'm going to get out. Okay, so I'll set my trade plan in this little area over here to get in the long, and then walk and let it do all the waiting around for how many hours it takes, which of course, if I'm not in front of the computer, I'm not getting tired, my emotions are under control, I'm not going to be breaking any trading rules. Okay, so keeps everything in check, keeps best practices on how you should be trading in check. Okay, so the next thing is where we're going to get out. Anyone have any ideas looking at those charts? What would be what target would I shoot for if I was going to long this? Any ideas? Probably going to be maybe back up at this trend line. Yeah, I would be looking definitely, back up there. Maybe anticipate that something like that might happen, or eventually maybe something like this could happen. That's sort of technical analysis. Okay, that's how make things work. So off it goes, and it actually gets to our trend line and breaks it. Now, I would probably take profit then, okay, and be looking for something like this. You can only you're never going to be right 100% of the time, but there's nothing wrong with getting out there in that trend line, and if it continues, well then maybe we'll just run it up the road some more, maybe back to the sort of highs up here or something. Okay, so that's how you can look at it. Okay, but the trend line would be definitely a good area to look at. Okay, so off it goes, and it just continues and continues. Now you notice that trend line, trade number one over here, over here, trend line got broken. Even if you got out, trade number two through here, okay, on the breakout, just take another trade to get in and run that up the road, okay, and then it's the matter of, it's the same thing. Build a trade plan, let the software deal with it. Okay, so let me show you how, using the same chart data, let me show you how the software actually works. I can pull up the same data on MT4. It's an MT4 based system. And I don't know why they always default to the sort of charts that I don't want. But here's the same situation that we were dealing with. Here was our 4-hour trend to the downside. Okay, that area got broken. So thank you. Let's look at something like that. Okay, so I can take my trade plan and put it on the screen. Okay, I'm going to run through some specifics about this in a minute while this is executing, and then put my trade plan on the screen, and then I can speed this up, and I can go to bed. I can get on with my day. I don't have to worry about missing it. I plan my trade in advance, and hopefully, okay, so now the software's gone ahead and got in there for me. Now, while this is running, let me explain a few things. On the left side of the screen is general market data, and so it's showing us some specific things about our software, but also you'll notice this thing over here, this spread limit. If you look carefully, it's set at 10. If the spread in the market gets over 10 pips, it's never going to get itself in a trade. If price is in one of these boxes and looks like it's going to set up, then you get your NFP and that come out, and the spread suddenly expands, or it's a quiet period in the trading day. I don't know if you guys notice sometimes in Asia, spreads can get quite big. But it'll stop you from getting in a trade. So we sort of use technical things to stop us getting into fundamental, getting impacted by fundamentals, if you like. Okay. So the right-hand side of the screen is the status of the trade. It tells you where it got in, what the signal was, where the stop loss is. Okay. And at any one time, it's given you a running tally of the highest your trade has been in pips, the lowest it's been, what it's currently at, all those sorts of good things. Okay. Now the yellow lines are called these PTA lines. I think short for price target actions. Basically, when price gets to that line, it's going to do an action. Okay, so set here to go, the BE stands for break even. So when price gets up to this line, our stop loss, which is the purple line here, automatically going to get moved up to the break even level. Okay, this one up here you see is our take profit. That's just sitting there right now. All of these lines, the stop loss line, the break even line, the take profit line, you can just manually manage them. Okay, you can just manage it, manually move them around the screen. So you might be looking at the trade and you might say, you know what, I need this break even to be a little bit bigger. And so you'll just move it up the road a little bit. And it just increases the break even. Okay, just getting to the break even now, and you'll see our stop loss automatically moved up to break even level. So we're in a free trade now. We can't take any losers. Okay, so that's a little bit of the functionality. This thing's got so much functionality built into it, I could speak honestly for weeks about it. I mentioned before the take profit target was that area way up. I think we're talking 91-ish or whatever, where that trend line was coming down. Well, maybe you weren't too sure about that. Maybe you thought, you know what? I think there's an excellent possibility that might just come to the fib of this. Price could even do something like this, come up to here and then do that based on that fib there. That is a legitimate possibility. But what I'll do is I'm going to see if I can get lucky. And so I'm going to manually create a price target action, and I'm going to put it on the screen. And I'm going to say to it, you know what? Trail price by 35 pips, for instance, and trail it on the M15 swings. So basically, if price gets up there, it's going to automatically trail the stop manually. So price is going to come up. If it hits this area, the stop loss is going to sort of get moved up. Because I believe it could be resistance, you've got a lot of resistance in here. Okay, 92 psych level in here, probably like a 618 fib. If I put the fib on this screen, there's a lot of stuff in this 618 area that would have me thinking that's going to find some sellers. Okay, so you might put something up there to see if you can get lucky. Okay, now you see these template area over the side here. This template area over the side is basically where it's like the engine room. besides the code of it, of course, which is rather huge. This is where you create your strategies, your little swing trading, position, or spot trading. It's where you specify things like your price target actions. Where's my stop loss going to be? Where's my break-even level? Where's my take profit? Also, what's going to get me in the trade? Is it going to be a change of trend on a 15-minute chart, a change of trend on an hourly chart, a change of trend on a 5-minute chart? All those sort of fractals are built into it. All built in and able to be fully customized over here. So you might specify that, hey, I like a swing trade, which allows me to, 15-minute change of trend, break even, 50 pips, stop loss, maybe like 25, take profit. I'll make it like 500 pips away up the road because I'm gonna be in this trade for so long that I'll just manually manage it. When I get myself out of bed, that's what I quite often end up doing. Is I get up in the morning, oh, we're in some trades, oh, this is good, and I manually manage stuff after that. It doesn't take long though, and quite often you get in some of these trades for so long that you sort of just your day becomes management, trade management versus anything else. So that's pretty much how that's working. Get yourself into the trade. I'm not even sleeping or awake in front of the charts. I would say, while I've always got the charts up in the background when I'm working, I'm only ever really looking at my charts for a maximum of a few hours every day. Okay, obviously the replay software here for the robot itself is not too fast, not like Forex Tester, but you can pretty much get the drift of how this works. Any questions so far? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna bring up the basically. Yep. So okay, David, it's actually a service. I'm going to show the website in a second. Let me show it while this trade is sort of getting going here. So here's the honest story. When we developed the software, we worked to sell it, but then it became a big issue. And at the end of the day, I decided, man, we just want to trade. We don't want to have I don't want to have to support 1,000 users of the software with having to hire lots of support staff, and then the amount of testing that has to go on across all the different brokers, because things react a little bit differently depending on the broker and all that sort of stuff. So we decided, you know what, we've got the trading experience and we've got the software, and we can control that quite easily. So let's give it people the opportunity to sign into the signals. Okay, so David, it's not a trade room, but you basically sign up to the signal service, and you get the same signals that we take using that software. So using our analysis and our trade planning and our software, you basically plug your broker in and you get the signals. Okay, I'll show you in a second if I get time here. Okay. So people can sign up to the Signal service. We use a company called Forex Solutions. We use a company called Forex Solutions who basically take care of all that communication between our software and your broker. It's done at sort of broker to broker level. Okay, we don't see your accounts or anything. And one of the beauties of our service, which we've just started, is you're getting everything that we've created. So you're getting good quality analysis and trade planning, good quality trading, non-emotional, best practice trading, if you like. Okay, there's no trial period, Bob, but wait. We continuously, one of the good things about it being software and our mentality is why we don't have much time in front of the charts, because once you've made a trade plan, you can walk, and it takes as long as it needs. Basically, we spend a lot of time improving the software, improving our trading strategy, and rerunning it through all our backtest data just to look for improvements. So we're continuously evolving and continuously improving. Okay, you'll see on number 4 on the screen, we only make money when you do. So basically, if you sign up with us, okay, and we'll take a look at the Forest Park slides in a minute, because they're going to give a really good opportunity if you want to go through them for your account. We only make money when you do. Now, there is a small monthly fee to Forex Solutions that we cannot sort of avoid at the moment. But if you wanted to join a demo account up or your live account, we don't make any money until we've made you money. So there's no monthly fee. It's not like a $200 or $300 a month fee for it. We're so confident that it's going to work that we're only going to take money off you if we make you money. Okay? Take a look at what Justin's writing in the room here, because it might apply to a lot of you, okay? Give these guys some opportunity. So that's pretty much how it's going to work, is you get the signals of what we're taking using that software, what we were just showing you. You can see now that it's gone to that price target action, and the stops, doing its thing automatically. It's hopped up here. And if price keeps going up like this to our target, the stop's just going to automatically hop with it. So that's just how it's going to work. Now, Forest Park registered with the NFA. I know a lot of people have these issues with using companies that are in far strange corners of the globe who might not be registered by anybody, and they seem to disappear overnight. Not at Forest Park, registered by the NFA. Got all the main brokers on there. Yeah, Ryan, we're sorting out. And by the way, everyone who sent me an email about the performance and everything, we're going to sort that out. And there's the services you can use, right, for showing its legitimate performance. But we're going to get some things out there soon about the performance, right? I mean, we're only just sort of got started. Bob, if you've already got an account, no, you can use your account. But if you want to, I would suggest go have a look at Forest Park, because if they can give you a better deal over in the long run, you might be able to go and use someone that they have. Anyone in the world can trade this, and Justin can get on the mic here in a minute if he wants, but he has a lot of non-US brokers as well. Since February, and before that, it was running sort of 12 months overall. We ran on some accounts. We were sort of still developing the software a little bit, but we had some periods at the end of last year of extremely good performance, especially around that sort of Thanksgiving in the US time earlier this year. Okay. So there's all sorts of cashback, trading rebates through Forest Park. Okay. And they have all sorts of other points. So what I might do is hand over. Justin's by far the best person to talk about this. So thanks for your time, guys, and look to be back soon for another webinar. Check us out at New Generation FX. But here's Justin to pick up the last part, discuss Forest Park.
Through pretty much all of the presentation right now. Rob was kind enough to put up a couple slides about our company and figured I would take the opportunity to just elaborate on what we do and how we can help traders. The quick 30-second pitch for our company is that we're a CFTC registered NFA member introducing brokerage firm. That basically means that unlike a lot of offshore introducing brokers, we have gone through a very rigorous regulation and review process. We have certain requirements and obligations that have to be met with those organizations to maintain our status and continue to work and introduce clients like yourselves to all of the U.S. brokers and many of the largest non-U.S. brokers. Our biggest claim to fame and our core offering is trading rebates. We basically can provide you cash back on your trading at any one of the brokers we work with. We never widen your spreads. We never mark up your commissions. It's exactly the same environment that you're used to trading. So essentially, you would open with the same broker you want, use the same trading platform, see the same pricing, same quality execution. Only at the end of every month, we would give you a rebate. In some instances, we can deposit that money right back into your trading account. In other instances, we would pay you with a check or PayPal transfer. But we only make money, essentially, if we can improve upon your current situation. We do not have any minimum account size requirements or volume thresholds. It works with any broker that you see on our website. There was a slide a moment ago that discussed that at least in the U.S. we work with Alpari, CityFX Pro, Forex.com, FXDM, FXDD, ILQ, IBFX, Oanda, and MB Trading. Offshore we work with most of the largest ones, but those are too many to name, but you can always visit them on our website to see. Our rebates can help you reduce your cost of trading with some of the brokers by up to 40%. So it can be very significant, and this is money that would otherwise be left on the table and essentially put into the pocket by the broker. This is really one of the key differentiating factors between us and other introducing brokerage firms. We like to consider ourselves advocates for the trader as opposed to the brokerage firm. So whatever your particular issue or concern or problem is, we're the ones that you want to go through to have us lobby and advocate on your behalf. Some of the other services that we provide, we also do custom algorithm development. So if you have an idea for a black box similar to what Rob has displayed for you today, we have a development team that can custom build a program for you in any language on any platform. And we're able to do this for free or at a steeply reduced cost because we hope that you will use that program on an account that we introduce, and we'll make our money through commissions. We also offer consultative approaches to your trading. So if you're unsure about whether or not you want to use broker A versus broker B, if you should be on a tighter spread plus commission model or a wider spread model, if you're not sure if you should be on a dealing desk or a non-dealing desk or a straight-through processing or a market maker desk, we can help you with all those questions. For some of the higher volume traders that need truly customized solutions, we can help build liquidity pools for you. If you're interested in becoming a commodity trading advisor or starting your own fund, we can also help with that process as well. As you can see from the slides, our slogan is helping traders go green. This is really where we differ from everyone else out there. Our job is to build long-standing relationships with our clients. We are not in the business of making you believe that you can take $500 and turn it into $1 million. We're interested in developing long-standing relationships and giving you, the trader, the greatest opportunity for success in whatever that particular area is. Does anyone have any questions on what we do? Okay. Rob, feel free to jump in anytime. It looks like you've got some questions there about how to subscribe to your service. One thing I do want to mention is The cost to subscribe to the service, again, as Rob explained, it's not paid to NewGenFX. It's paid to a third-party technology provider called Forex Solutions, which basically handles the hosting of your trading account and the processing of all the signals. That comes to about $27 a month to subscribe. And with our trading rebates, presumably you should be able to offset in whole or in part or more than that subscription cost. So we certainly encourage you to take a look at our site. I'm going to type it in here below. It's forestparkfx.com. And I'll also include my personal email address if anyone has any questions, or you're just too shy to discuss them here. But Rob, if you're still around and you want to take over and discuss how people can subscribe, mic is yours.
So just quickly, getting a lot of good questions here. We'll sort out something with the performance and things like that. Now, Forex Solutions, if you go to our website, newgenfx.com, you can read up everything there about the signal service and everything. Forex Solutions is a sort of a channel that we go through to deliver our signals. So we send our signals from us to them, and they send it to any broker in the world. You can be any MT4 broker. It's got to be MT4. Okay. So you send it through them, and it automatically goes to your account. You don't even have to have your account up and running. You can just turn it off and go on holiday or go to work. So you sort of just silently, it just goes and trades for you in the background. Now, as I mentioned, we don't get any money until we make money for you. Now, if you want to use a demo account, go right ahead. There are demo accounts. There's a few demo accounts on it now. Just be aware that there will be the cost of Forex Solutions. All the details are on the website. They're still going to charge you. You can start with any account size. Obviously, the bigger the better, but if you want to start off small and work your way up, that's absolutely fine as well. So, any other questions? I think we're nearly out of time here. Here's our website. You can go read up about how things work, how we, a lot more about than what we mentioned in the webinar today. Got a little trading blog in there as well. Everything you need to know is there. You can't test it, Song. I mean, you can use a demo account to connect to it, but you can't. The software is not available to anybody. Okay, we're keeping the software sort of tight right now. Does that make sense? So Dee, through us or Forex Solutions, there's a full support center. That's one of the reasons we're using Forex Solutions, is they have all the support staff and everyone to take care of all your concerns. Now, all you need to do is give them your account number. There's no software to install or anything like that. It's just literally, hello Forex Solutions, I would like to sign up, New Generation FX. Here's my account, whether it's a demo or live, thank you. And it's all done online and not a problem. There's no software to install on your side. You don't even have to have your account up and running. So it's the signal service is for free until, but we'll take a little bit of money off you if we make you some money. That's how it's going to work. Boy, you haven't lost your sense of humor, have you, over the years? And he should be able to start go straight through the website. Just go to the signal service, sign up, and go through all the steps here. You know, read this, sign up, and it's going to bring up the Forex Solutions, and you just put in your all your details here, and you're away. Honestly, it's 5 minutes work. Okay. My email, guys, I'll put it in the room. Any other questions? You know what? Send it to this address here. support@newgenfx.com, and we'll get back to you with any other questions you might have. No, D, it's like a monthly thing. If we make you bundles of money and we're going to take a piece of that money, Forex Solutions, they calculate it. They calculate all that stuff. We're not registered with the NFA. We have no idea about your account size or anything. Okay, so we have no idea. They do all that calculation. They basically cut us a check monthly to say, you made this much, and this is how much you get. That's it. So it's not as soon as the trade's taken. And there's the whole high watermark technology, okay? So, you know, the account's got to keep going up and up for us to make money. I can't lose a bunch of money and then have a good week and say, oh, I'm taking 30% of that money on its base. I've got to keep it above the high watermark, but it's similar to a hedge fund. Okay, so there's no dodgy little dealings here. Kim, like anything, like you know, our trading strategy it's had a few. I don't think we've had devastating months, but you know, we've had a little bit of drawdown, nothing at all huge. But of course, we always bounce back with some huge winners. You know, like I think June was 2,000 pips. So we have some. Song, when you sign up for the service, see this managing your risk on this page here? Mirror provider risk is the option that you should probably take if you sign up. Because that's taking the same risk we're using, and we're using like 1% right now. So you're going to get a lot size automatically calculated based on your account size versus our risk. Not yet, John. We're going to sort it out with the whole, is it MyFX, MyFX or whatever that shows that it's a legitimate account. Okay. Al, you're right. I mean, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that, man, if I want to make money out of this, I do need, considering that I am going to have to pay a small fee, and New Generation FX will take some money off me if they make me money, I do need. But you can start off real small to get that warm fuzzy feeling, and build would be another idea as well. You know, we're so new that in regards to the minimum account size, there's probably going to become a time. It's going to probably come a time in a few months where we're going to turn around and say, you know what? If you can't start with at least this amount of dollars, it's not worth it. But you know, we thought about the model of charging people monthly. Then I thought, man, and I went out and did a lot of homework. There's a lot of signal providers. They charge you $300 a month, and I said, what if I don't make anyone anything? That's going to leave me. That's not right. So, you know, at least trust your service and only take money when you make money. But that gives anyone an opportunity to be in the service. Because if I charge you $300 a month, $300 a month, anyone who's on like a real small account, they're going to be shied away immediately. I don't have all the official figures. I mean, we haven't had honestly the best August. June was good, August. Um, but it's like proper trading, swings and roundabouts. Like last year, had a pretty poor October, had an incredible November, December. It's just sort of ebbs and tides, sort of ups and downs. So we'll get some official data up on our website and things, and you guys can take a look for yourselves when you're ready. Still building a track record. 12 months track record would be good. We're just sort of getting going. So, there's just an opportunity in this webinar to put the feelers out there, let people know. And, we're confident the results are going to come in and it's going to be attractive in the long run to people. Okay. I'm not sure when I'm going to get thrown out of this room, but we'll keep going. No, and the MT4 and these can be down. You can be just to turn it off and go to work or go to the gym or whatever you do with your life. Look after kids, and you might be wealthy and go and live on your yacht for 6 months in the Mediterranean. Well, you can, Song, but you're going to fall into that trap of, no matter whose hedge fund or anything you join, it's a bit like, I used to work with someone when, their personal work fund they have for their retirement, the last big crash in America, they pulled all their money out at the bottom, and if you're going to do that, you're going to always stop at the bottom, and then you're not going to be there when things turn around and win. So what you need to do, Song, is you need to step back and judge the long run. I mean, you need to not start something like joining the signal service until you're confident. You might start off small, but if you go into anything with the mentality, if the signal service goes down, I'll stop. You don't know when to start again, and then when you go to start, it might have picked up and been very, very good for ages, and you would have had all your money back, but you're still down. And then if it goes through a little down again, you're going to get out again, so you're sort of constantly being down. I mean, guys, I've as I mentioned in the webinar, I'm looking forward to seeing the results coming up in the coming weeks. It's been a pretty average summer. I mean, it's coming out of summer, right? Trading's been pretty average at best. So I'm looking forward to some big moves coming up now that traders are coming back into the markets. But I have made, some changes. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of those results. But there's always going to be ups and downs. If you have a good trading strategy, no matter who you are, and you stick to your guns and you buy at support and sell at resistance, it's just a matter of time before the big trade comes. And you might have a bad month, but you got to stick to your guns. You can't chop and change, right? And it's just a matter of time. And I've seen it in all our testing, and since we've been running in a live account, it's like, man, it's a pretty average month. And then the next month, it's like you're on this ultimate high where you've gone places that you've never seen before in your trading. Yes, you can. You can start with any amount you like. No, and that's why, Song, my strategy is sort of, it's a discretion thing. It's, you'll change things when you think they need to be changed. Okay. And I'm constantly, well, not constantly, but, evolving still as a trader, although I've got like 6 years experience, evolving as a trader, learning things all the time, and just making small adjustments along the way to look for improvements. And that's why I feel comfortable with the number of indicators I use. I don't have a whole lot. I have a few, but it's enough to get you by. And why I'm not fully automated is I sort of agree that no strategy will work forever, and I've seen that. I've tested. I mean, anyone who knows me I used to be a huge pivots fan, trading pivots, and we created strategies that just traded off pivots. And while for 1 year the results are incredible, the next year they're really poor. There's no one strategy that works all the time. That's why it's good to have some experience to sort of and do the analysis and say, this is what's in control right now. It is not your pivots or this or that. It's this and that. Song, the software is not for sale. As I mentioned before, it was initially the idea, but then it was just going to become too much of it's a big learning curve to use the software. I mean, I didn't even scratch the surface. Didn't even scratch the surface of what this software can do. And I could have more and more webinars to show it off, and I probably will. And so this is not a fly-by-night piece of software like these $95 robots that you buy. If you think you're going to make life savings off a $95 robot, think again. That ain't going to happen. This is a serious piece of software. And if I ever sold it, it wouldn't be cheap. I have a top class. Actually, it was a developer who approached me, John, who's part of New Generation FX, came to me and said, because when I was educating people, I'd mentioned that I was looking into automation to help trade. I'm done with this. Everything I said in the webinar, I'm done with this sitting in front of a computer all day, and I'm missing all these moves. There's got to be a way to make this work. You're welcome, Rick. And so I had someone approach me, and so I sent them away with a little task, and they came back with some very impressive results. So the sort of relationship started there. Yeah, I mean, 1,000 copies for $100, $100,000 is nothing, Song. You got to support that. You're going to have support staff, right? And to use the software here, to set the software up, it's to set up these like templates, all these things happening in the background, and how you want to trade it. It's a lot of time and effort. A lot of time and effort. But definitely the sort of software that takes all the pain out of trading. Do some analysis, make some trade plans, and walk. Definitely the way I like to trade. Definitely a good way to trade. They'll be open. One day we might sell the software, but we've got to have the support staff and everything to do it. And right now, I just want to trade, make money. So no, you'll pay a small fee to Forex Solutions, and then if we make you money, we'll take 30% of what we make you. So let's say I made you $10,000 one month. I'll take 3,000 and leave you with 7, and that's how you pay me. So I'm not taking anything off you monthly. They won't be able to. I mean, you just get the signal song. You don't have to do anything else. The money would come automatically out of your account to me. What makes you think that, John? Forex Solutions have some signal providers with thousands of people attached. I'm only doing one signal. Do you mean in terms of it always winning? Yes, Kathy. Nice one, John. There's always a clown in every webinar room, isn't there?